How's it going, Ramblers? This is TJ, the Veteran Rambler, with the third episode and final of this series, where I talk about core values and how they apply to your life. Today's episode is on excellence in all we do in the Air Force. That's the final core value. I think it's the one that kind of brings all three of them together. Excellence doesn't really need a lot of explanation. I mean, there's plenty of cliches on doing your best, giving 110%. Anything worth doing is worth doing well. But on its own, I don't think that value really stands, because when things start getting tough, it's easy to give up on, or when there's really no other motivation, it's easy to tell yourself, well, that's good enough, right? So I think you need a strong service before self, strong sense of service and a strong integrity of your character to push through when giving up is the easier option, or you don't really see the point of going the extra mile to make things perfect. I guess the story of that is, how it's changed me throughout my life is, when I was young, I didn't honestly think I was going to finish high school. And when I finally decided to turn my life around and buckle down and actually go back to school and start aiming for getting my diploma, I was a C student. I would come in, I would do the tests, I would do the work in class, but I wouldn't do any homework. And C was average, but C was passing. And to me, that was good enough. Now fast forward to after I joined the Air Force and I was back in school in college. And in college I had a different attitude, and I really had a good, strong sense of service and excellence, and not settling for less of myself. So when I would finish a class, I would have an A and high 90s, and I would start doing the math and think I could probably just not take this final exam or not turn in this last assignment, and I'll pass this class. And passing no longer was all I needed to it wasn't acceptable to me anymore, to just settle for the minimum. So I would always push through and do that last assignment or put in the effort to get the high grade. And I was happy too, because I graduated with my degree magna cum laude. And to me, that was sort of unreachable when I was a kid. I thought I didn't have it in me. And I finished high school, I think, with a 2.7 or something like that. So to reach magna cum laude in my college degree was not just, well, really, it wasn't for anybody else but myself, just to prove to myself that I have more in me than what I give myself credit for. And the only way to do that is to strive for excellence, And nobody's perfect, and nobody expects perfection. But to settle for less than your very best is sort of admitting to yourself that you're not good enough when you really probably are. So that's what it's kind of how it's changed me throughout my career, and the difference between me, 20-year-old me, and 40-year-old me is that anything I do now, I have the integrity to not just settle for the bare minimum and getting the job done, but striving for excellence not for anybody else, but just for myself, just to maintain that integrity, that I am capable and I am worthy of, getting high grades or getting high, achievements. So in the Air Force, excellence in all we do it's not just for when you're in the at the job, and you're doing your work, but it applies basically 24 hours a day, especially if you're ever wearing the uniform. And the idea is that you're representing something bigger than yourself, and so you need to present yourself with excellence, excellence of character and excellence of appearance everywhere you go. You never know who's going to be looking and what impression you're going to be making on them. So I feel the same way when you're wearing, basically the uniform of God, the armor of God. When you're wearing a cross or you're representing Jesus, you sort of have to do the same thing in understanding that you're not just representing yourself, but you're representing all Christians, and how you present yourself or behave in public around other people. That's basically representing how Christians behave, and it's all over social media, and Christians are not mindful of how they present themselves, or if they're cursing and they're not being Christian-like, they'll get called out in a hurry, and so in your faith in following Jesus, you have to also present yourself with excellence. Have excellence in all you do, not just for yourself, but for Jesus and for all Christians. And that means not falling to temptation, not going out and drinking and getting belligerent, even if it's just once in a while, because you're always representing God, So anyway, that's excellence in all we do. So that's the last of our core values. And just to kind of tie it all together, we started off with integrity first. Integrity means not just doing the right thing when no one's looking, but having an integrity of your character and integrity of your mind, body, and spirit. Building integrity builds resilience, and a resilient mind and a resilient spirit will bounce back from hard times and not easily cave. And you get that from a strong faith, from practicing in faith. And faith is like a muscle. The more you work at it, the more you put your faith in Jesus, that he will provide and his way is true, the more it will strengthen you. And as you build that resilience and you build that integrity, you start to put others before yourself, because that's what Jesus did, and that was what he wanted us to do. He wanted us to love God first, mind, heart, and spirit, but then love our neighbor as we love ourselves. And love in the biblical sense means putting yourself second and putting others' needs first. When you have the means to help somebody out, doing the right thing and helping, and then also love, in the biblical sense is not always saying what somebody wants to hear, but saying what they need to hear. You know, it's not enabling the bad behaviors. It's trying to strengthen up others as you strengthen yourself. And finally, we have excellence. And if you have a strong integrity and you are continuously putting others before yourself, you'll find it easy to strive for excellence when representing Jesus and representing yourself. You have more confidence, and you'll have more, I don't want to say pride, but you'll stand stronger, you know, and that will come with you striving for excellence, because you know that you can do it. You have faith that you can do that. And you know you should sacrifice your comfort and put yourself out to do your best for others. So anyway, that's the last of our core values. I'm just going to end our video here with my walk through the Ellsworth Memorial Park. This was a park that was dedicated to aviators who gave their lives in performance of their duties. It was donated back in 2000, but it has a lot of different names on the stones now, and I think it's one of my favorite parts of this park is and I love here because it's outside the running path and people aren't usually walking or running over here. So anyway, I'll show you around, and then until next time, keep on rambling.